Amy, Knuckles, go left!
Give me a sec. I'm on it!
Welcome to another episode of the fucking awesome game review show. Can't exactly say the game that we're reviewing today falls under the fucking awesome category, but this is still a review show, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this, despite the questionable awesomeness of the game of which we're reviewing today. And that game, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Sonic Boom for the Wii U, exclusive to the Wii U. I don't know if that's something Wii Uers should be proud of or not, but here we are. Let's go ahead and take a look at this.
The story begins when Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Nux Lesnar are chasing down Eggman. Well, technically it starts with Sonic dying, but I guess that's symbolism for his career. After the battle, Sonic and friends come across some strange ruins where they accidentally reawaken an ancient evil named Lyric. After Sonic and company find out that Lyric is after some ancient crystals to start his quest for world domination anew, they decide to start their quest to stop him. There seems to be a lot going on in this game, none of which seems Sonic-like at all. What is this? Sonic doing beat 'em up? Can someone explain to me how the hell that happened?
I mean, seriously, there's a lot of different... somebody explain this to me. Who over at, you know, Sega, or I guess in this case Red Button Games, said, hey, look how these Sonic games play. I'm sure putting beat 'em up in here would just make sense, right? Right? Well, that guy's forwarding all the money for this game, so we're just gonna do what he says.
The game has a Sonic Adventure-like hub world where you can talk to other characters and go to new stages. Sonic and friends walk around an RPG party forum and you can switch between characters to access different parts of the hub world to get to new stages.
So, that's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, I overall, and I like the Sonic Adventure 1 game, which I thought was pretty good at the time. And, you know, I enjoyed that whole hub world thing. You know, you can talk to different characters. They really didn't have that much impact on the story, but it was kind of interesting to see and stuff like that. So I kind of like the fact that they brought that back. And it kind of made more sense that for the most part you're talking to like other animal type people instead of real world people, which always kind of freaked me out because there weren't really. Those Sonic games are weird. Like in one game they're like in the same world as human beings, where you know they're all interacting, they're anthropomorphic, and they're talking to people as normal. And then other games there's like no humans in sight whatsoever. Everything is all like a world, anthropomorphic world of animals, so like that. No people at all whatsoever, except for Robotnik, who came out of like nowhere, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. So I just kind of off topic for the review, but I'm just kind of wondering about that.
Each character has their own strengths and abilities. Sonic and Tails are primarily the speed type characters, a term used very loosely in this game, while Knuckles and Amy are the primary acrobatic type characters. The characters are often split into teams of 2 to traverse the stages.
Yeah, there are some scenes where you're actually running like in a Sonic game. It's like, hey, look, you're running and doing this and dodging and loop-de-loop and stuff like that. But it's just like, it's really just doesn't feel right. You know, I don't know what was going on with the process game, but this just, you know, even at the speed part, it was still kind of slow, and the controls were just shit. Yeah. So yeah, basically, you know, you're either going to be playing as Sonic and Tails, or Knuckles and Amy, and basically, you know, a lot of it's like, because there's a couple of different things like the characters can do. Like Knuckles, he can climb on walls and climb on ceilings, but it's not like any wall. You have to have like a specific surface. You know, you see like this red surface, like it's a red, shiny, crystal-like looking surface, and that's what Knuckles climb on, and he can only do that. And then Amy, you know, she does like this balance beam thing where you can walk between balance beams, and you don't necessarily have to do both. You can do one or the other, and like the other character will automatically go to, well, the AI will automatically go to the area it's supposed to. while you do the other thing. So you switch back and forth. Same thing with Sonic and Tails, basically. Difference is, like, they all have, like, attacks where they can punch and kick, and Tails throws, like, golden balls or whatever, and Amy has the hammer and shit like that, so.
The game is very puzzle-heavy and requires a lot of puzzle solving to move forward. This is in itself not a problem, but the puzzles seem to be needlessly repetitive. You seem to have to do them multiple times and they seem longer each time. Eventually it feels like they did this just to desperately try to extend the game's lifespan.
Yes, it just gets too much of the same thing. It's like, okay, do it once, you do it for like a few seconds, and that's fine. Then you do it again, maybe for a few seconds more. But some of these puzzles you have to end up like 4 or 5 times just to get through them. It's like, okay, I did this already, just move on. There's like no need whatsoever to do the same puzzle over and over. Like there's one scene where like one part puzzle, I'm trying to like, light up the floor, and it keeps going. I have to light up more floor, and there's more and more lasers pointing at me, trying to kill me while I'm doing this. It's just, what is going on here? It's just like, alright, I did this. Stop it. Move on.
The gameplay itself just seems out of place for a Sonic game. Sure, some of the staples are there, such as Sonic's running and Knuckles climbing. These things are utterly underutilized for more of a platformer type of game. I mentioned earlier that games seem to have more of a beat-em-up aspect, and while that's not a terrible thing, it does not fit into the Sonic universe.
It just doesn't. Alright? I mean, like, look. I appreciate a good beat-em-up as much as next guy, and I really wish it was a genre they would bring back into the mainstream more. Maybe not in the whole 3D aspect, but that whole side-scrolling 2D, 2.5 3D thing where you can go through this with like modern graphics. Think of the Double Dragon game that came out a few years ago. Not the second one, the first one. The remaster. I don't call it remake or remaster or anything like that, but the one where it's redoing Double Dragon Neon. That was the name of it. I mean, like that was cool. I like when they did something like that because they took like the modern day graphics or whatever, put it in the old school spin, and you just had this just kick-ass, just side-scrolling beat 'em up, and that's fine. And I just don't see Sonic going in that direction, at least not like that. I mean, I guess if you're gonna make a Sonic beat 'em up, do it like that, the old school side-scrolling type beat 'em up, and just put the Sonic characters in there. I don't know, but going from Sonic doing his spinning thing, his running and spinning and crap, and Knuckles doing his like climbing, and then all of a sudden you're doing beat 'em up. I was like, maybe Knuckles can work in a beat 'em up environment because he does have like the punching, but Sonic, no. Sonic doesn't punch or kick, and I don't know where the hell this came up, but it's no, okay, just don't, no.
Kind of a shame too, because the game actually does look decent graphically, and the voice acting is pretty good, except for Shadow. I mean, my god.
Know what makes you weak? Your loyalty to your pathetic friends. You're not going through that portal. I'm gonna show you just how weak you are.
But the majority of that is ruined by putting elements of the game that just don't belong there. Sonic Boom is a game that you can pass on and not miss anything. I guess if you're curious enough to check it out, do so at your own risk. I would recommend waiting for it to hit the bargain bin, or just rent it for a weekend if you feel you absolutely must play it. It can be very mildly entertaining, but not by much.
I mean, might get a few laughs out of it. I mean, I thought the dialogue was actually pretty decent. It was more like, I guess it was supposed to be on par with like the TV shows. There's a TV show alongside of this, and it was alright. It was passable, but I think they could have saved that kind of stuff for an actual Sonic game where they did Sonic stuff, and it just didn't seem to work all that well for me. There's a bunch of other different mechanics, like you can get these runes where you can power up moves, like how many rings you get and stuff like that, and like you can like upgrade abilities and stuff like that with the screen by collecting nuts and bolts or some crap like that. And you can't die apparently at all. There's like no challenges game whatsoever. It doesn't matter how many times you die, you just go back to like where you were before. It's just completely like, I get that they're trying to make this game was probably aimed more towards like younger kids and stuff, but kids aren't that stupid. I mean, there's some ones out there, but I think they're kind of insulting the intelligence of little kids with this, by the way. And the game apparently was unfinished and had a lot of glitches. I myself didn't experience any of them because I didn't really go looking for them. I mean, you can go like on YouTube or whatever and look them up, and they'll show you how they're doing. Like, I guess you do a certain glitch, you can beat the game in like 5 minutes or some weird thing like that. I didn't experience those myself, but apparently they were there, but like I said, I wasn't actively trying to get that going, so I believe it. You know, the game was a complete mess, like the dev team left and stuff like that, and now because of this game, I'm saying it's because of this game, Sega is like about ready to jump ship from the consoles period and going to PC. I don't know what they're going to do there, but you know, whatever. Too much not Sonic stuff in the Sonic game that just didn't work. And I know this was made by like the original people who made Crash Bandicoot or something. And just if you're gonna do this, just make a fucking Crash Bandicoot game, because people are gonna expect to see that in a Crash Bandicoot game, but they're not gonna see that in Sonic. And I also reckon like it's pretty much where they got the designs for Sonic and characters who look all weird. And apparently Sonic had blue arms, which I didn't even notice while playing the game, but that was a big thing that pissed people off. I don't know why, but unfortunately, no. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this game an F. Oh my god, this has been like the first F rating ever on this show, or I think even on my channel or whatever. That's bad, and that does hurt me to say, because I am actually kind of I'm a Sonic fan. I really am. I like, and there's some other games that people didn't like that I kind of found I thought were pretty good. Like, I like Sonic Heroes, I like Sonic Generation, I like Sonic Color. A lot of people didn't seem to like those games. I thought they were pretty good. Maybe not better, maybe not the best ones out there, but I liked them. I really did. And stuff like that. And I never played Sonic 06 because I had enough people tell me to avoid that I've actually listened. And I've seen enough people play it on YouTube that I'm like, okay, I can see why I avoid the game. So I did that. So anyway, this has been another episode of the fucking awesome game review show. Sonic, you have a lot of explaining to do for allowing yourself to do something like that. I mean, that's just, what is wrong with you? So, I mean, Sonic Boom? More like Sonic Boo, right? I'll see myself out.